We got it.
Recording and going live. Once you see it live, you can go ahead and get started.
Okay, that sounds great. I see the recording. And just waiting for Facebook to go live, and we will be here.
Right.
Very exciting, Vargas.
Should be live.
Yeah. Now you got a visitor.
Okay.
The kitty cat.
Yeah.
Are we live right now, Jared?
I think we are. Yeah.
Okay, because I don't see the Facebook Live thing.
Hmm.
Do you have it on yours?
I'm seeing it. Yeah.
Okay, all right, if you got it. All right, everybody. Thanks for the technical difficulties there. Welcome to, and Jared just told me this, we are on the 50th episode of Ask the Expert. This started during pandemic. So, wow, amazing. A little bit over a year. And we're on our 50th episode. So that's amazing. Very much, very happy with this. And we got to learn a lot of stuff and everything else. Sorry about that, guys. I should really put my phone on silence for this. I am very excited today because I have my personal trainer and Sean's personal trainer, a personal trainer to make everybody strong and happy is Vargas.
Yes.
So Vargas, thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course, my pleasure. Happy to be here. Thank you, Mark.
Oh yeah, no, my pleasure, absolutely. So the reason why I brought this in today, before Memorial Day weekend, not to make people feel bad, right? Like, oh my God, I should have worked out before I totally stuffed my face over the weekend. But at any rate, you know, summer's right around the corner, and this is a good time. And COVID is, you know, a lot of people are vaccinated, gyms are opening up again. People are thinking about getting a personal trainer. If you put on that COVID 30 or 20 or 19 or whatever what it is, there's a lot of opportunities here. So first of all, Vargas, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? How long have you been training? How did you get into training? And kind of your personal philosophy.
So basically, I started training in 2005. And before that, I was doing capoeira, which is an Afro-Brazilian martial art. And that kind of started me on my little bit of my journey into fitness and training. But this was before strength training. I was like, all right, this is fun. I really enjoyed doing martial arts. Then I was, it was just kind of those dumb luck situations where it worked out in my favor. I was, at the time I was attending college class. I was attending Hunter College and I was just taking classes, not knowing exactly which direction to go in life, as one does around that age. And I just so happened to be working at the Starbucks down the block from the Equinox, which, you know which one I'm talking about, Martin. It's down the block.
The one in Greenwich, the flagship Equinox in Greenwich Village. Fair enough.
Yeah. And so I was working down at that Starbucks, and I made friends with one of the membership advisors there. Then we started talking. We made friends, and he introduced me to the fitness manager, which was this guy Leo, and he was this big Brazilian guy who was also. He understood that he did capoeira. So he kind of bonded off of that. And he was like, all right, why don't you come in, check it out? And at the time I wasn't doing anything like strength training, any type of strength training, working out. And I ended up really enjoying it and finding a love and kind of a passion for personal training. Just like, I love what was going on with my body and my mental state. And that basically helped me with my clientele, helping them pursue their fitness goals. And I've been training, like I said, since 2005. I was with the company until basically full lockdown.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I decided to go on my own in October because everybody kept telling me, Vargas, why don't you go on your own? Years. They've been telling me, Vargas, why don't you go on your own? Yeah, you're not trust me. My whole clientele has just been telling me, why don't you go on your own? Why don't you go on your own? You have enough people, you have great energy, you want to do this. And I'm like, and it's that scary step. It's like that first, for me, it was a jump.
Right.
Because I was scared. You know,
Right.
I was scared. I was scared to make that jump. It's a move that that applies in anything in life, not just like training for myself, but just it's like that bird trying to fly off from the nest. It's like, okay, here we go.
Right, here you go.
Yeah, I was in that nest for so long, so you get comfortable there, and there's a little bit of excitement in kind of taking that first jump, and that's basically what I did. And it's been great, mentally, physically, and it's been such a brand new thing for me. It's very exciting. I'm looking forward to what the future holds in terms of like training and what's going to come my way. In terms of like my philosophy, I like to make it fun for the other person. I don't just want to. I can change. I can feel out the other person. I can go back and forth. I can. I'm pretty flexible. Like personality wise, I'm like, all right, you want a hard ass? I can be a hard ass, but I'm not that trainer.
Right.
Do this, do that. That's not me.
Right.
That's not my style. But I try and feel it out. I try and be flexible with the person, with how with what they want, their goals. I'm not here to completely leave you dead in the dirt. That's a different coach.
Got it.
In my time at Equinox, that's one thing that I learned. They were really good to me about that. So you get such a wide range of clientele. And so I kind of like to let the clients understand, why we're doing certain movements, how to do it, not just move to move, not just do this because this is going to make you feel better. Okay, why are we doing this? Why is this going to make me feel better? And then to put their mind into the actual movement, so you get a greater result out of it. So that's personally, that's just because that's how I train, myself.
Right, to teach and educate. So let me ask you this, and I do want to talk about the entrepreneurial aspect of your adventure, which I'm really happy that you're doing towards the end of the show. But let's say somebody that is, first of all, like the first question is why would you get a personal trainer? There's so many workout YouTube stuff out there. There's so many workout books. Why not just join the gym and follow a routine that you can pick up free off the internet?
So number one, I wouldn't say number one reason, but there's a lot of reasons to pick up on to get a personal trainer. Number one, it just kind of holds you accountable. You got to show up. I had a client, I have her now, actually, she just came back to me. She sees me 5 times a week, anywhere from 3 to 5 times a week. And it holds her accountable. She hated going to the gym, but now I go see her, or we'll train virtually. And she's been ecstatic about it. She loves it. So sometimes it's that in-person thing that makes you feel accountable for yourself,
Right.
And then, so that's one reason. The other one
I would agree with that. And I just want to just chime in on that.
Yeah, of course.
And normally we train twice a week. We did 3 times, and I was like, not 100% feeling it, but I'm like, if I can't let Vargas down. And with the cancellation policy, I spent the money anyway, and I'm not going to let that money go to waste.
No, you better show up.
Right.
And you know what?
Go ahead.
And the other thing is, it's like when, there's certain days where I know you show up and you're like, fuck, I'm tired. I don't want to do this part of my French. And then by the end, you're probably a little beat up, but you're not unhappy that you're not sad. You're not angry that you came to the session. You feel better, it changes your mental state. The other reason I'd say to get a trainer is you got to check your form. Because you got to check your form. Just because there's a lot of YouTube videos, there's a lot of this, there's a lot of that. I get it. It's fine. I use a couple of them too, but you have to check your form. It's easy to mess up if you don't have a pair of eyes on you. Easy.
Got it.
And you can, also people get lazy. People slack. That also kind of falls into that form thing. But people slack. If you're watching a video this person's not on top of you, you're like, all right, well, this is just, I can just pause this. I'm gonna go do something else. I'm gonna do this. No, you're here for an hour with me. You know, we're here together. Let's take advantage of this. Let's make the most of our time, and let's get some positive results out of it. And it's the same for me, because I feel coaches also need coaches.
Right.
For myself, it was my capoeira instructor. I need to coach my martial arts instructor. When I first started training at Equinox, I wasn't sure of the ropes, but I trained with other trainers, and it was every day, 2 hours a day, sometimes late nights. I was in there just kind of learning the ropes, trying to understand, okay, what's this? Why is this movement effective? Why not do this? Why do this movement instead of that one? So it was just years of just a trial by fire kind of situation for me. And that's, like I said, coaches need coaches. That's how I work out. I love it.
Right.
I feed off of that.
That's great. That's great. And I agree with that, Vargas. I mean, look, I will say that 1 hour training with you, or even, at the end of the day, it's really like 45, 50 minutes, right? I get more done in that time than I would an hour and a half at the gym by myself. So you just, cut my time in half. You make me do all the exercises correct. And look, I'll be honest, I'm 49. As you get older, you just can't, when you're in high school or college, you just can't go in and bench press your weight, 20 times and call it a day, right? There's the safety, there's the safety factor of it.
And just to kind of
go ahead.
Sorry, just to kind of bounce off of what you said about doing the most in X amount of time. That's another thing. You're maximizing your time, because you're not really dilly-dallying too much. And sometimes the other thing is, like, people kind of come in and have no idea what to do. They'll go to the gym. It's like, I'll be here 35, 50 minutes, 60 minutes. They're looking at their watch. I think that's enough. No, you want to come in with a game plan. I have that game plan. Your trainer has that game plan.
That's very true. And one thing I do want to add to that is you don't, when somebody has a trainer, the trainer just doesn't figure out what you're doing that day. They have like a month plan for you, a 3-month plan for you. They know exactly what's going on. So what tips would you have for somebody who's thinking about getting a trainer? Should they interview 3 people? Should they just go into the gym and ask the manager for a recommendation, or what strategy would you have for someone who wants to get a trainer?
So there's a few ways that you can go about it, and I've seen, like I said, I've seen all of them. One is, yes, you do go into the training gym or wherever you are. Let's say you go to Equinox, for example. A lot of people go in there and it's like, I'm looking for a trainer, work out 2 to 3 times a week, and then they'll put their criteria in it: male, female, bodybuilding. So there's that situation. It's like you put in everything that you want, but it could also be a little tricky because you may not mesh with the person.
Got it.
That's the personality and personalities might be they might clash. Who knows? So that's the one way to go about it. The second way is to either go up to the trainer themselves and ask them. It's like, oh, hey, I see you training so and so. What do you think we can get a session in? And don't be afraid to ask for a free session.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to ask for maybe 30 minutes, but ask if they do a free session. I will happily offer an hour of my time if it means that this could be a potential client.
That's really helpful, and that's good to know. So if you belong to a gym, and basically every gym has trainers, I believe, right? So no matter where you go, and if you see somebody that you think that is somebody that you could work with, I think that's a really great piece of advice, to go up and just talk to the trainer and ask for a free, can we do a session or a free session and see how it works? And I would agree. Go ahead.
The other method I'd say is also word of mouth. I've picked up
Okay.
a few clients through word of mouth. Ask, if you're not sure, if you're looking for a client, so if you know your friend or whoever it is training, and they're getting great results and they have just great rapport with their trainer,
Mhm.
why not ask them for for the information for your trainer?
That's a great idea. Yeah, word of mouth
So
as well.
word of mouth is great. I picked up many clients at Equinox just through word of mouth, and also just through training myself. I'll be working out at the gym, they come out and they'll be like, all right, well, I like what you do. Can we do something together? Let's do it. And I'm always eager. I'm ready to go always.
That
So
sounds great. And
don't be afraid to ask.
that's great. So tell me a little bit about like how important is a personality fit for finding a trainer?
For me, it's important.
Okay.
For me, yeah. For me,
Got it.
for me, it's important because I like somebody that's driven, a little bit
Mhm.
more motivated, just because that's kind of how I am when it comes to that type of work. I'm a little
Right.
driven. I'm a little motivated. I'm like, I want to do this. I want to see you get results. I want you to just be like happy in your head. What else? It,
That's okay. It can
that's
always come back on it. But yeah,
yeah.
so I would say you want somebody to match with you personality
Yeah,
wise.
the
And go
personality,
ahead.
like I said, the personality for me has to be kind of, you guys kind of have to meld. Yeah, you can kind of get somebody that's not all in, but you can still go back and forth, and they still want to be there with you just because they like you, and sometimes that'll work out in your favor because like, I don't want to be here, you're okay, I'm gonna stay here.
Got it. So yeah, so that's a reason to get out and talk,
Yeah,
right? Now
yeah,
the
but
other
yeah, go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, I
No, go
was
ahead.
going to ask you a question. I wanted to pivot a little bit, which is, as people get older, can you touch base a little bit on how important it is to have muscle mass? That seems to be kind of the biggest trend. That as you
Yes.
get older, to stay healthy is to, and we're not talking about being ripped, but just having, you know, keeping your
Yeah.
muscles in shape, so to speak. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I have two women that are a little bit older, and usually women suffer from osteoporosis. So
Okay.
they know that bone density is very important, through even just throughout life. But
Hmm.
as they get older, they know it's important. It's like, oh, and I have to be doing strength training. It's not just cardio, it's not just whatever, it's not just yoga. It's I have to strength train. I have to lift heavy things. Um, and like I said, it's for bone density, it's for mobility. Because as everybody gets older, you start losing all that mobility, you start losing that flexibility, that strength through your body. So the older you get, you want to be consistent.
Got it.
You want to be consistent with your training, with whatever with your discipline, whatever you're doing. It could be yoga, it could
Hmm.
be this. But I have two clients. I see her 4 times a week. And we do everything from kettlebells to capoeira to martial arts.
Wow,
Yeah, she loves it. And she loves it.
that's
And
amazing.
yeah, and it's hard for her. And she's 65, I want to say. 65.
Wow,
My
that's
dad is another
amazing.
example. Yeah, my dad's another example. He goes to the gym religiously, like maybe 5 times a week. And he's in
Wow.
there just grinding it out, grinding it out. I mean, he's such a meathead, but he understands also the importance of having to strength train.
Got it.
It's like yeah. It's just you want to be able to catch yourself when when and if you fall. God forbid,
Got it. Right.
You want to be able to,
Well,
you want to have those reflexes because when we get a little bit slower, things get a little bit harder to do. So why not be prepared for it?
right. No, I think
These are
that makes
all,
a lot of sense.
yeah, it's not just like training just to look good. It's just preventative for things that may or may not happen.
Right. No, I agree with that. So I wanted to touch a little bit, or one of my favorite things, one of the things I like about you, Vargas, besides being a personal trainer, is in my series I like to talk a lot about entrepreneurs, and
Yeah,
with entrepreneurs, it's always, which is I always say it's a fancy French word for self starter, right? So the and I think it was great how you opened with that, like leaving the nest, right? So can you share a little bit about, and also sometimes external circumstances force you to make a bold step that perhaps you normally wouldn't have, and that was what sounds like COVID most likely here. But tell us a little bit about like your journey of when you were working at a gym. And I want to be very clear, we're not anti-Equinox in any way. It's just a
yeah,
personal journey here, right?
yeah,
But ultimately, when you work for yourself, surprise, surprise, you have the opportunity to make more money. And this is for anybody doing anything, venturing out on their own, right? The trade-off is, if I work for a company, I'm given a certain level of job security, and yours was still you had to get your own clients and stuff. But if you work for a company, you get a certain level of job security, and the trade-off is you don't get paid as much. But if you go off on your own, you lose the security, but have the ability to make a lot more, and do stuff with your family and dreams and all that stuff. So kind of tell us a little bit about your journey of when did you start thinking of it, or was it just candidly with the gym shut down in COVID and you got to do something, or how did that work?
so like I said before, everybody has been telling me to it's like, Vargas, why don't you go out on your own? You have enough clients, whatever, blah blah blah, that whole spiel. I'm like, I can, I should, but I'm scared.
Okay,
For me,
so you're on it.
it
Yeah,
was,
fear.
yeah, it was fear that I was like,
And
do I do it?
and
Do
you're a
I make
family
that
man.
jump?
You have two kids, two little kids.
I got two baby birds at home. And for me, it was fear, because
Okay.
it was fear out of do I leave what's safe for
Hmm.
something that's unknown?
Okay.
Do I know it's like, okay, I'm safe, I'm secure here, or do I just venture out into the world? And so
Okay.
I basically this whole pandemic, it put it put a gun to your head, and you're like, what do I do now? It's like,
Got
I
it.
have my clientele. I reached out to my clients. I told them, I was like, hey, I'm training over here. I'll come and see you. And everything just started snowballing in the right way from there.
Okay.
People reached out to me. People saw me out in the world training, and they said, hey, I'd like to train with you. Hey, I'd like to train with you. Cool. That's great. Let's do it together. And it just started to work out from there. And once I got back into Equinox, I worked for them from like September to October, once the gyms were able to reopen. And they started asking me for things that I couldn't do for them, just because I was working outside with my
Hmm.
clients. And it just, and like, it was one of the hardest decisions I had to make, because I was with the company since 2005. And now I have
Wow.
to pull the trigger now from 2020. And
Wow.
here, and so I said, I was like I said, it was a hard decision. I almost got emotional, because I was with them for so long. I was
Right.
like,
I can imagine.
I had to talk to the manager. I was like, it's not you, it's not the company. It's just I have to
It's
I
a
have to provide
divorce.
for. It was so hard, and so
Wow.
like I had to do it, but it was probably one of the best things that I've ever done in terms of like my mental sanity. Like, I was waking up certain times at 4:15, 4:30 a.m., going in, seeing people at 6 a.m., and like I said, I loved all of my clients, all of them. So there was no ill towards my client, but um, you're coming in, you're grinding hard for this company, and you're making X,
Hmm.
and you're also tired. And this is a company that's like you got to be great. You got to be here 100% mentally, blah, 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 all this stuff. And when your trainers are just kind of like crushed because they have to be there at 6 a.m. until whatever time just to hit, these sessions that you have to hit, it's taxing on you. So when I got the opportunity to do this and I saw that it was actually starting to work out for me, I said, let's do this. I'm all in. I'm all in. So it just worked out, and it's hard. I ride my bicycle in every day. It's like 7-8 miles. I ride the bike back home every day, and I'm all over the city. But it's a different mental state for me as a person than where I was before. Like I have more time with my family. It's huge.
Wow.
For anybody that's like trying to figure out, it's like, oh, can I do it? Can I do it? Can I do it? If you feel like you can do it, yeah, do it. It's huge. Like I can see I take my daughter into school sometimes in the morning. I know this. For a fact, I know I wasn't able to do that before. I take her in every morning. Sometimes I'll pick her up, and then I'll see people virtually or even later on in the day, just because I have that time. I work less, but I have a little bit more, disposable income. So it works out for me. So if you feel like you can do that jump, you take the jump.
That's great. I think that's great advice.
I wasn't confident in that jump, and boy, did it work out in my favor. And like I said, I'm one of the lucky ones that came out in this pandemic, with positivity and just, I don't know if it's good luck or just dumb luck. I'll take it either way, but it worked out. But the fact is like, if you feel like you can do it, I say go for it.
Wow.
Go for
That's very inspiring.
Like it's just great. You have those weekends to yourself. You can see your family, or just you have extra time to do something for yourself. My head is just so clear. It's different. It's different.
That's great. That's really great, and I can actually see that. Like, I mean, because I knew you at Equinox, and you were obviously you were there and present, but you're much more. I guess I'll use the word free. Like you're able to your personality comes out a lot more, so I can see that. I can definitely see that. 100%. So kind of, we just have a couple of minutes, and again, as I told you, this half hour always goes so fast. We have 2 minutes.
It does, and now I'm like, now
you're warmed up. You're like, oh no, this is 90 minutes, man. I'm ready to talk for another hour. What are some parting thoughts for someone who wants to get in the exercise game? Meaning like I want to do something, and then a parting thought. Yeah, a couple parting thoughts. Sorry.
So, for anybody that's beginning to train, that's just starting off, don't kill yourself. Don't be like, I have to go in there for 90 minutes, 2 hours a day. You're gonna burn yourself out. If you're fresh to the game, then just feel it out. Find something that works for you. And this is one of those situations where it would be great if you hired a trainer. Find a trainer that you see is like, I think we would be compatible. Go up to them, go up to the person, ask them, hey, you mind if we get in a session? That's a great way to start, just to get your feet wet.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that. The other thing I say is, don't compare yourself to other people. This guy's doing this, he's doing 100 pounds. Go in there, start off. It's such a good time right now to start. There's so many different options out there, and find something that works for you. It might not be strength training. Like for me, it was capoeira first. It was martial arts. Maybe you like boxing. Maybe you like yoga. Just go out and move. Do something for yourself. Do something for yourself. Something that makes your head space clearer. I wasn't into strength training. For me, when I ride in and out to work, for me, that can be my yoga because it helps me think. I
Got
have
it.
40 minutes, I have anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes where I'm riding out there by myself. That can be my yoga. Find something that works for you mentally and it'll help you.
Wow.
That's
That's great.
that's kind of what I get out of it. For strength training, I just think that helps me.
That's great. Well, Vargas, thank you so much for taking a half an hour of your time to join us today on Ask
Thank you,
the
Martin.
Expert with the Martin Eiden team.
Thank you,
And-
Vargas.
Sean, what are you doing there, Sean?
Let me just say, Vargas is an awesome trainer because he keeps me motivated, and he lets me play my music, and wherever I am, wherever I show up is where we start from, and he takes me to another level. And lastly, I didn't start training until I was 50 years old. I'm in better shape now than I was when I was 35, and I'm 55.
Woo.
I agree. Yeah. I agree. That's great. All right, everybody. Thanks so much, Vargas. Hold on for a second. And thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Have a good Memorial Day weekend.
All right. Thank you. Everybody have a great weekend.
Hold on.